So we're here working on the Jaguar V12 and the GMC Suburban, and this little guy comes crawling through our work area, but he's wearing his hard hat. He's got 6 legs for stability and safety, and it looks like someone pooped on his head. But look how he walks, and he's got these 2 horns, and nothing stops him. He just keeps on marching. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. We're going off to war today to win the war, to kill the... Who are we gonna kill? choose your religion or your sect or your people of choice.
If he can go after these red ants, that would be great.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if you ate the red ants?
I'll pay you.
They call them in Florida sugar ants because they would live in the sugar sand. Luckily I had the 4-wheel drive Suburban. Look how he walks. He's walking the very tips of those legs. He's got these little round things on the tips of his legs, and he actually manipulates them. They actually turn under. That is such an interesting thing. And when you squish him, you know what sound he makes? I'm not going to squish him. He's just too interesting.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
I wonder if he flies. Or just,
I can't tell if he has wings or not.
Just walks around. I think those look like wings. Or...
Yeah, they have the appearance.
It's got no tail whatsoever.
Maybe this is his lunchtime walk he takes daily.
Wanna come to Daddy?
I don't know if he stings, but... Oh, unsure. Not natural.
All kinds of little things sticking out of him. What kind of beetle is that?
Let me look it up quickly. I think it's a stag beetle.
I wonder if he likes eating leaves. What does he eat? It's funny because alligators can run so fast. They can do these incredible darts for a few seconds.
That's a stag beetle.
A stag beetle. All right, Mr. Stag Beetle, you're pretty cool, but we got to check the ball joints on this GMC.
Oh, then they do have wings, as you can see here, sir. By opening their thick front wings, they unfold their membranous back wings and take off.
Lucanus elephas. How are you? The largest giant stag beetle in South Carolina is the Lucanus elephas. It is one of the 7 lucanid beetle species found in the state. While adults look too big and cumbersome to fly, they can! By opening their thick front wings, they unfold their membranous back wings and take off, not unlike a giant B-52 bomber. Okay! Danger, 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 the Russians are coming. Take off, spread your wings, and fly. No, we're just going to walk through the tall grass. All right, what are we doing here on this Suburban? We were checking the ball joints before we got so...
I thought he came over for an informational session.
So we're checking the ball joints. It's hard to concentrate when you got these... So look at this. This thing's got 250,000 miles or 350,000. There's nowhere whatsoever in the ball joints. The upper one is not even greasable. The 84 that I have, a few of, had little caps in the upper ball joint right there. And you could take up the cap, put a grease fitting in, which was very complicated and difficult because the ball joint, the U-joint would wipe it out. But there's no play whatsoever. But where there is play, this thing was all over the road. We got in at 3:45 in the morning. Where there is play, hold the camera, Mr. Beetle, and don't press that button underneath there because you'll end the video. Shine the light in these things here. No, over here. Over here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And you'll see how much play there is. Whoops, get this piece. Play in the steering box, play in the tie rod right here, and there's also play if you can aim the light. Oh boy. Got 2 hands? Because I need 3. Aim it at that other tie rod. Hey, look how loose that is.
Yeah.
So that's why this thing was all over the road.
And that's just this side.
Yep, but no problemo. I drove this thing from Sugarland, Florida to South Carolina. 475 miles, 850 kilometers. We're going to check the tie rod on this side now and see what else is loose. All right, now we'll do the this single tie rod on the inside. There it is. We'll do the ball joint, and there's no play whatsoever. You pivot, you hit the piece of wood, and I'll show the ball joints. We're cranking on the wheel. We got it on a fulcrum on a teeter-totter just outside the front tire. There's no wear whatsoever on the ball joints. This thing's got to have 250,000 miles. Now you hold the camera, and I'll do the inner tie rod, which is right there. Let's see what that one's like. Nope.
Yeah, the wear's elsewhere.
Yeah, it's on the other side. Both tie rods that show tons of grease are worn. And the spline for the axle hasn't been greased in a dog's age.
Are these auto lock hubs?
Yes, and they do work because I used them yesterday. It's got a recent starter. Does not have the dual front shocks or the quad front shocks. It's got the strut bar that holds the transfer case, triangulates it to the engine. So what I don't understand is you bring your vehicle in for service, rust in it. Rust. You bring your vehicle in for service, you pay a ton of money, and they give you back a vehicle with new air conditioner, new receiver dryer, 134A, no heater, spare distributor cap. The air blows ice cold when it feels like it. And look what's inside here. Mud. Pure water, just like a certain K5 Blazer that I brought back from San Francisco 3 or so years ago. So you spend tons of money on service, tons of money, they're not afraid to charge, and hold that, just don't press those 2 volume buttons because at the end of the video. Spend tons of money on service, and up we go. New power steering hose. Let's check the air filter. I did buy a new fuel filter, oil filter. My experience is fuel filters are never changed. Once every 25 years, whether it needs it or not. Piece of hood insulation on the inside, which fell off of here, sitting on top. New air filter. Looks like it is made in Napa. What's funny is there's no pre-filter. There was a heavy-duty option that either had a spark arrestor on the inside or a piece of foam on the outside, a pre-filter. Good idea. So new air filter, AC Delco oil filter. Choo-choo! No antifreeze in the radiator whatsoever. New alternator, new spark plug wires, new water pump, new clutch fan. It's got a new clutch fan. New clutch fan. You can feel the rust. If that train would just shut up and go away. You can actually hear it crunching when you squeeze the hose. Yep. There's so much stuff lining the rubber hose, which is new. Imagine how much stuff's inside this block. I wonder if it even has a thermostat. Crunch, crunch, crunch. So, who do you trust when you bring your vehicle to a mechanic? They just change the obvious, easy to change parts. They just change what's just your normal, run-of-the-mill, typical, oh, new oil filter, new air filter, new fan clutch. The air conditioning works when it feels like it. There's no coolant, there's no battery hold-down bolt. The door actually closes because someone's put some electric tape on the striker. Oh yeah, give me a sec. The door doesn't close too badly, but I did buy new hinge pins for it, but it's a real struggle because you can't get them off this way. You gotta undo the bolts because they will not lift off because the door is in the way. Brake pedal shows that it's got a lot of miles, not 77, not 177. Rag joint's good, I checked it already. Actually, why don't you jiggle the steering wheel? I'm gonna check the joint on the bottom. The rag joint's fine. I'm gonna check the steering box for wear because the bottom bushing, wait a second, the bottom bushing never gets any fresh oil. It's just the same old oil sitting there for the life of the vehicle, or the life of the steering box. So they wear on the bottom. Where is it? There it is. A little worn, typical. Wonder how the front U-joints are. So I'm gonna grease this thing, change the engine oil, transmission oil. Starter's been changed, sounds good. Check the front and rear oil levels in the front and rear axles. In the transfer case, fill it up with ATF. Put in side marker bulbs in these cheap Chinese or Taiwan lenses. Maybe we'll find some at the junkyard, but not too likely. These light bulbs are only used for a couple of years. They're $10 each. Make sure everything works on this thing. Gonna carry a spare alternator in case this Chinese one craps out. Then we're gonna hit the road, pack up the sheep and get the flock out of here. And this V12 Jaguar, junk. My friend here ordered a new caliper, rebuilt, and the threads were stripped on the inside, and he mangled his genuine original pipe. Mangled the threads because the caliper It's a junk rebuild. Have to get another one. Oh look, spare parts.
Oh yeah,
Alrighty.
I gotta bleed it. That's right.
We're gonna pretend we're busy.
Yeah.
Working on this GMC that just made a 500-mile drive, towing a junk GMT 400. Good old GMC. It's the best. GMC. It's the best. 10-4, good buddy.